So we had this conversation yesterday about. You guys think I'm addicted to my mobile phone? I don't know.
Yes, you are.
I don't know if that's a thing, being addicted, but whether it's appropriate to be having a. Sorry, I'm just looking at it now.
Can you put your phone down, please?
No, there's a message I need to look at.
I'm sure there is. I mean, the thing, it's not just looking at messages. You take selfies when we're halfway through a conversation. When we're halfway through a link, you'll do a mid-link selfie.
Yeah, but just behind the scenes. Anyway, let's find out. Let's find out what the do's and don'ts are. Will you please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, onto the show for the first time, the Royal Butler. It's Grant Harrold, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Not at all.
Pleasure.
Now, let's just do a bit of your pedigree. So, the reason you are called the Royal Butler is because, of course, you were the butler to Prince Charles and the princes, of course.
Yeah.
This is your expert. This is your trade, and it has been so for quite some time.
Absolutely. I mean, when working for the royal family, I was really interested in the way that we do things through etiquette, and obviously we used to have people that would come up to meet the royals, and it was interesting to kind of learn about the right ways of doing things.
So, did you have to sort of brief visitors if they were coming, or were they already sort of briefed at that point?
I mean, one of the roles as a butler, even for whether it was the royals or anybody's, you've got to, when people come to the home, you've got to kind of make them feel at ease and kind of talk them through the kind of protocol of what's going to happen during their meetings. So it was part of the I like to see it as a kind of glorified counsellor kind of thing. But absolutely, so that was something that as a butler you would be expected to do.
Okay, so talk us through the mobile phone stuff, because more and more now, Grant, mobile phones are absolutely everywhere, and I can't resist it. If I'm like at dinner and we're in a restaurant or something and somebody sends me a message, it's almost like someone loves me and I need to know what's going on. So is it right for me to look at that point?
Absolutely not. I mean, recently I kind of was a bit risky because I noticed that one of the state banquets that the Lord Mayor was having, there was a mobile phone on the table. It was on Twitter, funny enough, and the picture was put up, and I immediately spotted, out of all these the play settings, I saw this mobile phone, and immediately I tweeted saying, whose mobile phone's that on the table? Because you wouldn't do that. I mean, you just don't put any electronic devices on the iPads or mobile phones on the table.
Not even on the table for you to look at. So it just needs to be away. What if the phone rings and you're there having a conversation with someone? Do you just have to let the ring get louder and louder and louder and ignore it?
Well, you would hopefully either have it off or on vibrate. If you're waiting for an important call, so let's just say there is a reason that you need to have the phone either probably on vibrate would be best, then you can always let the host know or other guests know that you are expecting an important call. So when it starts to go off, you can excuse yourself from the table. But ideally, you don't really want to do that unless you really, really have to. Because I always, whenever I do my kind of classes, I horrify people and I say, that in my world, putting the mobile phone on the table is almost as rude as putting part of the, we won't say what, but part of the male body on the table.
What? Downsy, how dare you?
Well, I'm interested in both. I'm interested in both.
What about this scenario, Grant? When it's a Sunday afternoon, you want to watch United versus Liverpool, and your girlfriend's making you go out to have dinner with some people, and you've got Sky Go on your mobile. Is that okay? Just hide it behind the gravy boat.
No, I mean if you're with other friends or you've been invited somewhere, the mobile phone you should really leave it in the car. You shouldn't even have it on you, as I say, unless it's an emergency. So I'm afraid you'd have to let all that go and just concentrate on your skills as a guest.
But what about in just normal? We're not at dinner now. It's not a sort of formal occasion, Grant. We're just, I don't know, sort of chilling out. They have a go at me in the studio for being on my phone when we're just sort of at work.
Well, at work it's also it's tricky. I'm not saying I'm obviously completely innocent, because there is times when you'll be at work and you suddenly the mobile phone will go off or something. But you've got to kind of keep it professional. If it's texting or phone calls, and obviously it's difficult, because if it's to do with work, that's fine. If it's not, it's trying to keep it until you have your breaks or something. And you certainly don't sit there. I hope none of you sit there watching your Sky Sports while doing the programme.
Downsy?
What about?
I was going to say Downsy, but I resisted.
What about when you're at work and you're Snapchatting some young thing you've been chatting up? Is that?
Yeah.
How does that
Not
Go.
really.
No,
The kind of not. I mean, I've only just kind of discovered this word of Snapchat, and it's not really something you should be doing.
God, right. So essentially, I just put my mobile phone in the bin then, because I don't think there's no opportunity for me to use it really.
Think how much money you'll save.
Do you ever commit sort of social faux pas, or are you a perfect boy every time?
Oh, I'm absolute perfection. No, like everybody else, you all make mistakes, and it's tricky because I do these, I'm sure you know, I do these etiquette classes with a cousin of the Queen, a royal princess, and I love it because she always says to people, "Do as we say, not as we do," which I think is great. It's a great line to use.
Right, let's go to line 1, and that's Michael. Good morning, Michael.
A very good morning, Downsy. Morning. Good morning, Mr. Harrold.
Good morning.
Good morning. Slightly embarrassing one, but very much on subject. Flatulence is an issue, clearly, for many people. On my mobile phone, I have an app now which repeats the flatulence noise, so I can blame the phone if I'm in company or in a restaurant. Is it therefore acceptable to have my phone on the table so I can say it wasn't me that popped, it was actually the phone?
Not really. No, if you've got that problem, I suggest maybe you see a doctor. But I mean, no. I mean, if you've got that, then it's something you can't help. And I mean, in some countries, it's seen as a way of showing that you've enjoyed the meal. So
Indeed.
So maybe it's worth going and visiting those countries and showing how much you appreciate their food.
But for example, if I was at a restaurant in Bristol and I had my usual slightly noisy and rather aromatic problem, in etiquette terms, how many people should you apologise to? Just those immediately around you, or people at other tables?
Probably just the immediate, the company around you. I mean, and maybe the waitress or the waiter as they kind of walk past. But no, you wouldn't have to go. You wouldn't have to go around the whole room apologising.
And when you were in service, did you ever take one for the team?
I can honestly say I resisted.
Well, splendid. Well, thank you very much indeed. By the way, Mr. Harrold, did you make a note of my name?
No, sorry, I didn't. What was that again?
Noel Edmonds.
It's Noel, everybody!
I got you, Grant.
Thanks, Noel.
And that's the first gotcha in 15 years. Or something like that.
Yeah, but I haven't lost the touch, have I?
He's still there. He's still got it. Oh look! Oh Grant, we're really sorry to do that to you.
No, I was actually thinking this is the most interesting caller I've ever had a conversation with. So I'm glad it was Noel.
I was about to ask him if we were related because it all seemed very familiar.
Have a Jack Day.
Thank you, Noel. Bye-bye. And Mr. Grant Harrold, the Royal Butler. Check him out online. It's theroyalbutler.co.uk for some very interesting stuff and bits of your TV work. Thank you very much for being such a great sport.
No, thank you very much for having me on. It's been really good fun.
Grant Harrold, everybody! Yay!